If you watched my first video on AI nutrition logging, thank you. The response was overwhelming and incredible. So many of you tried it, so many of you had questions, and the number one question was, okay, but does it actually work long term? So today I'm giving you the real follow-up, a few weeks of actual data, real wins, real gaps, real moments where this thing surprised even me. I talk about metabolism for a living, and this tool still caught things I missed. Let's get into it. What I actually do. Quick recap for anyone new. Every day, I log my food into ChatGPT using voice or photos. I did not talk about loading the photos in the first video, but now I use photos more. Under the chat, there is a little plus sign where you can upload a photo. After you upload a photo, you don't even need to say anything. AI knows that it is what you want to log. As for the voice logging, I talk to it like I would talk to a person. I don't type out every ingredient. I just describe what I ate, roughly how much, any relevant context. It recognizes my recipe, my usual chicken salad, my usual cottage cheese, and it knows what it contains. And then I ask it to track my macro and micronutrients. But here's where I went further than most people. I demand high quality data. I don't accept vague summaries. I don't accept "you're doing great." I ask for specific numbers. Weekly gap analysis. I ask it to compare my intake to evidence-based targets. And also, this is important. I give it a lot of context. I tell it how I feel. I tell it my weight every single day. I tell it when I'm tired, when I'm stressed, when I crush the workout. I log my calories burned from my Garmin fitness watch. Speaking of which, if you're not wearing a fitness watch, I really don't know what's wrong with y'all. A Rolex watch makes you look really old. A fitness watch makes you look like you care about your health. Please get one. Okay, back to the data. What the data found. Let me start with the wins, because there are real ones, and I want to be honest about that. Protein, hitting it consistently every single week. As I work out 6 days a week, I try to hit 120 grams of protein per day. It is 1 gram of my body weight per pound. Most experts would agree about consuming protein 0.8 to 1 gram per pound is appropriate for people who work out on most days. This did not surprise me because I am very intentional about protein, but it was satisfying to see the numbers confirm it. Second, fiber. Nailing it every single day. I eat a whopping 25 to 30 grams of fiber from various sources: chia seeds, vegetables, fruits, salad, you name it. Calcium, folate, B12, vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, all good. Now, vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc, I supplement because here's the thing. It's genuinely hard to get enough of those from food alone, and this is true for almost everyone. AI tracking confirmed my dietary intake was low, which was expected, but our supplements are filling that gap. So I'm covered. Moving on. Now, here's where it got interesting. 2 nutrients kept showing up every single week, like clockwork. Choline and iron. Chronically low, not occasionally, not oops, bad week, consistently, week after week. And this genuinely caught me off guard. Because I ate fish, I eat lean protein, I eat what most people would look at and call an extremely healthy diet. I'm a doctor who literally counsels patients on nutrition, and I was not eating enough eggs. That's it. That's the choline issue. Choline is critical for liver function, brain health, and cell membrane integrity. Eggs are one of the most important sources. I wasn't eating enough of them. AI caught it. I would not have caught it on my own. Second, iron. I'm a woman, I know my requirements are higher, and I thought I was compensating through diet. The data said not quite. Week after week, the gap was there. This is exactly why longitudinal tracking matters. Not one day, not one meal, weeks of data showing you the actual pattern. That's what changes behavior. Okay, let me tell you about the moment that made my jaw drop a little. I was in Walnut Creek, California at this incredible rooftop restaurant called Telefight. Gorgeous place. And I opened ChatGPT and I told it where I was and what I've already eaten that day. I mean, I didn't have to tell it because it already knows. And asked it what I should order to fill my remaining nutrition gaps. It looked up the menu in 1 second. In fact, that was the first day I started logging. But I wanted to know if that would work. It matched it to my intake for that day, and it gave me a specific personalized recommendation based on my actual gaps that specific night at that specific restaurant. It said, I need to eat octopus and seafood paella. Oh, great. I love those seafoods. It didn't say, eat more vegetables, not generic wellness advice, a real recommendation. And then, this is my favorite part. It specifically told me not to get the sangria. There was this beautiful red drink. It looked amazing, and Chet looked me in the eye, metaphorically, and said, no, not tonight. You have iron and choline gaps to fill. The sangria was not helping. It was right. I was a little sad, but it was all right. As a doctor, I tell patients all the time that hardest part of eating well isn't having the knowledge, it's applying it in real life. At a restaurant, on a Sunday night. And there was a beautiful sangria on the menu, and this tool handled that situation in real time. This is honestly the part that surprised me the most. Late one evening, I told ChatGPT I was hungry. I had already almost hit my macros for the day. I was really hungry and I should not have been. And honestly, I was mostly just curious what it would say. It did not just tell me to drink water, it gave me a full pep talk. Genuinely motivating, the kind of thing Noom tries to do with their behavioral coaching. Except this was personalized to me, my goals, my actual data, not some generic script written for the masses. It reminded me that I had already accomplished it that day. It reframed the hunger. It gave me real options based on what I still had room for nutritionally. I am posting a screenshot of an example. This is a screenshot of today, not that night, since this chat is extremely long because it's been going on for 3 weeks and there's no search function and I cannot find the time to go back and find exactly what is said. It felt like having a coach who had actually read my chart. And then later that week, when I told it I was full, it responded to that too. It didn't just record it and move on, it gave me context, what that meant for my macros. Whether I should eat again before a certain time based on my energy levels and what I had already told it about how I was feeling. It connected the dots. Because that's the key, I cannot stress this enough. The more information you give it, the better it gets. I just don't log food. I tell it how I feel. I tell it my weight. I tell it when I'm tired, when I'm stressed, when my workout was hard. I update it constantly. And because of that, the responses are actually personalized, not generic. This is not a food app. This is starting to feel like a nutrition coach who has read every note in my chart and actually remembers all of it. Let me give you something practical here because the prompting is everything. The difference between a useless AI nutrition log and genuinely powerful one is how specific you are about what you ask for. Do not just say, drink my food. That's like going to a doctor and saying, I don't feel good. Technically true, but not very helpful. Tell it your weight, your activity level, your age, your favorite food, your health goals, any medical conditions that are relevant. Ask it to track your specific micronutrients, not just protein, carbs, and fats, but the ones that actually matter for your health. Ask for weekly summaries. Ask for gap analysis. Ask it to flag anything that keeps showing up low. And when you want real data, demand it. Ask for numbers. Ask for percentage of your daily target. Ask it to compare this week to last week. And ask it to give you recommendations. Push it. When I showed some of these outputs to patients in my practice, they were shocked by the level of details. So I want to show you what that actually looks like. This is not a rough estimate. This is a clinical quality nutritional data generated in seconds for free on your phone. Here's why I'm talking about this on a medical channel and not just a wellness one. Nutrition is one of the most chronically undertreated areas in endocrinology and frankly in whole areas of medicine. Doctors are not trained well in nutrition. I am not exaggerating. Blood sugar dysregulation, thyroid dysfunction, hormonal imbalance, bone loss. So much of what I see in my practice is downstream of what people eat. And for years, we've had almost no practical tools to help patients actually track this in a meaningful way. Food diary apps are tedious and people almost always stop using them. I think I have one patient who's still using it. I know who you are. Dietitians' referrals have wait lists and cost barriers. Generic advice does not account for individual patterns. AI is cheap and never quits working. AI logging, when done right, changes that equation in a real way. And I am not saying this because I read a paper about it. I'm saying this because I've been doing it myself for the past few weeks. And I have a data, and it caught 2 chronic nutrient gaps I genuinely did not know I had. Also, it really motivates me to eat healthy foods. There are so many healthy foods to eat, and I'm so busy eating them, and I have no time to eat unhealthy foods. I am now recommending this to all of my patients in my practice. I show them exactly how to set it up. I show them what prompts to use, and I show them what good output actually looks like. So they know when they're getting real information versus a vague non-answer. If you want to try this, start simple. Just log one day, ask for the micronutrient breakdown. See what comes back. You might be surprised. And if you have specific health conditions, please work with your doctor on what targets make sense for you individually. This is a tool. Like any other tool, it works best when you actually know how to use it. I'll keep sharing my data as the weeks go on, and if you have questions about prompts, about what to ask for, about how to interpret what comes back, drop them in the comments. I read them. If this is helpful, subscribe. I post every Sunday, and I will see you.